Hello again, everybody. This is Flippin Ain't Easy. Wanting to make a video today about managed payments. We're less than a week away before you have to change over from PayPal to eBay's managed payments. I took the dive with my second account and went in and enrolled in managed payments. So I wanted to discuss that with you and kind of talk to you about what this means for you and your eBay business. So without any further ado, let's go. So I've done a few videos on managed payments, and for those of you who haven't seen some of my videos on managed payments, you can take a look at one right here. But I contacted eBay today on something totally unrelated to managed payments, and it literally took them, they said it was 81 minutes to get a call back. I waited from 9 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. Okay, so they are being inundated with managed payment phone calls because a lot of you are hesitant as to making the switch. It's a tough change. You're used to PayPal. And a lot of people, even in some of my prior videos and comments, are very apprehensive and aren't quite sure. And so, to be honest with you, back in September, I made the change on one of my accounts. I was offered the opportunity to use managed payments, and I went ahead and did that on that account. And I wanted to keep the other account with PayPal so I can sort of see the difference. And there's a reason why I waited until the last week to make the change from PayPal to managed payments. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one is the control over your money. With PayPal, you have a little bit more control. As soon as a customer clicks on return, okay, it could be for any reason. You might offer free returns. There might be a problem with your item or any reason for the return. With managed payments, as soon as that customer initiates the return, before you even approve it, okay, that money is withheld. So let's say for the week, you've had a great week. You've sold $1,000 worth of items, and someone has a $100 item that they now want to return. Well, now that $1,000 pending has a $100 that basically is now on hold for that transaction to be refunded eventually once you get the item back, which can take up to 35 days. So that money's sitting there for 35 days potentially before that money is either refunded back to the customer. We hope that they would cancel the return if they change their mind, but many customers don't even bother to cancel the return. So that money is sitting there in a pending state on hold. The buyer and the seller, neither person has access to the money. eBay, of course, has access to it. They can do whatever they want with it. And so, with PayPal, on the other hand, you don't have that money frozen, unless action is taken on eBay's part, because maybe you're not responding to the return request or a case is opened and found in the buyer's favor. That's a little bit different. But on a standard return, you are going to find that you're still going to have access to your money in PayPal until it's time to process that return. Not so in managed payments. eBay has control of your money, not you. That is the biggest difference that I've seen so far. And there's a couple things, though, aside from that, I wanted to talk to you about. And that is, even for those of you who are currently on managed payments, mid to late this month, when this is actually implemented, I believe it's the 20th, but when I signed up on my other account for managed payments today, it stated that I was simply registering. I'm still on PayPal, so if it's business as usual, they are going to notify me. I believe they're going to give me, a 48-hour notice, 24 to 48-hour notice before I'm being switched over. The other thing that you guys need to know as eBay sellers is that your final value fees are going to be taken from your payment that you receive. No longer are you going to have, that 9.25% final value fee waiting for you at the end of the month, which for many people is a good thing. A lot of people, it's alarming to have that $1,000 eBay bill at the end of the month. For some, it's going to be alarming in the sense of I'm used to getting $10 out of this sale after, my shipping is taken care of, and now I'm only getting like $8 or $8.50. And so you're going to see less return, but the trade-off is you're not going to be paying those final value fees at the end of the month. So in my opinion, it's all the same. But what I want you all to understand is, for those of you who are currently on managed payments, that's going to be a change that you're going to see. You're going to have a smaller bill at the end of the month. It's not going to negate your eBay bill at the end of the month. There's some people out there who are putting videos out here that are given bad information. And the idea that you won't have a bill at the end of the month is not correct. And let me tell you why. You're dealing with, if you have a store, your store fees per month will be on that bill at the end of the month. Another thing to consider is if you have a, let's say, situation where you're going to purchase a return label, okay? When I'm on managed payments right now and I buy a return label through eBay, okay, that money, let's say it's a $10 return label, that money comes out of my pending funds. If I don't have enough pending funds to cover that return label, they will bill that to me at the end of the month. Okay, something for you to keep in mind. This is what is currently happening in my experience with managed payments with my account that I've had since September, okay, on managed payments. So if you have a refund, now they're going to immediately on a return request, like I mentioned earlier, hold that money. It's a $100 item. Maybe you don't have $100 in your pending for the return. In that situation, what I've been told, and I think it's happened to me like twice, is that if there's not enough money to cover in my pending funds, then basically what's going to happen is that money is going to be added onto my bill at the end of the month. So if it's a $100 item, they're going to bill me for that at the end of the month, okay? Now, just so you're aware, once you get paid for an item, that money is put into a pending status, okay? So, pending could mean that there might be an issue with the customer's credit card. Some payments process faster than others. If someone's using a PayPal balance to pay for your item, that's going to be a quicker turnaround on your money than someone who might be paying with a credit card or something like that, right? Because some banks are slower to process and approve than others. And so I've received payment for an item and it's taken a couple days for that money to go from pending into ready to pay out status. If you want your money every week, if you want your money every day, and that's what I have, I don't want them to hold on to my money. Send that money every day. Now, it might be easy to reconcile if you have it set up every week, and that's something you might want to consider for your business. But for me, it doesn't matter. Have that money come in every day is fine for me. Because what I do is I have my separate credit card. I have an Apple card, and I get 1% back on all my purchases. And so all the labels that I purchase with that card, I'm paying that balance off right away. Okay, I'm accumulating Apple Cash. At the same time, I'm paying off my shipping that way. It's just easier for me, and that's something I would recommend to you, is establish a credit card, one that gives you points, so you can actually make some money off of this. But however you do it, pay off that particular card as your balance is deposited into your checking account. Through the registration process, you're given a chance to identify what bank you would like to use to have your money sent to. I have Chase, but there also are the other major banks available to select from, and you then sign in through the link that it comes up with, and it will then retrieve your routing number and your bank account number, and it's fairly simple. But just know you have to provide your bank information. If you're not dealing with one of the larger banks, like maybe you're dealing with a credit union, there is an opportunity to go into the registration and provide your routing number and your actual account number for these deposits. It is actually required. There's no way to get around it. It's part of the process. Another thing is you must provide your social security number. So if you don't have a social security number, or if you don't want to supply this to eBay, you are going to be out of luck, because if you sell, I believe it's over 250 items in a year and over $20,000 in sales, eBay will now be required to submit a 1099 at the end of the year for your taxes. They have to submit that information to the IRS. And they can't do that if they don't have your social security number. So you have to provide that as well. So once you enroll, you're still going to be on PayPal. So don't be afraid of enrolling if you're dealing with a situation or a current situation in PayPal. You still will be able to access those funds. And from my understanding, let's say you have a return once this thing goes live and that transaction was processed through PayPal, you're still going to have to deal with that refund with your PayPal balance. So it's probably not a good idea to just go moving all that money to your bank from PayPal, because you may have a return. And trust me, I've done this before by accident, where I've moved all my money from PayPal to my bank, and like clockwork, here comes a return request. And now I have to send money from my bank back to PayPal. It's just a pain, okay? So just be mindful of that, and that way you're not caught off guard. So that's the video I have for you today. Just some quick points about the managed payment system. Like I said, here's another video for managed payments that I've put together. There have been some changes that I've been aware of since making some of those videos. So that information that I'm giving you a link to may not be the most up-to-date information, but what I just discussed kind of covers the key points. Because the hold times are so long right now dealing with eBay, getting a call back from eBay, the advice I'd give you is this: find your information on YouTube. There's a lot of content providers like myself who are talking about managed payments right now. So do a YouTube search and you're going to find a lot of good information. But caveat, there's some bad information out there too. So just sort of be mindful of that. If you have any questions about managed payments, I'll be glad to answer any that you have. Someone will give you an answer, but post those questions down below in the comments, okay? If you have any comments about the information that I've talked to you about tonight, please also leave that information in the comments below. If you found the information useful that I provided you about managed payments, please smash that like button. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel. Every 2, 3, 4 days, I'm putting out a video, and it is centered on eBay. If you're an eBay seller, then my channel is going to give you information. Maybe you already know, but there's a chance that information I come across, it's, in my mind, worthy enough to share with you, because a lot of the time I'm finding it out for the first time myself. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But again, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and have a great rest of your day.